So with the bolt through, so that's got to be turning this. It can't not turn it, you know, it doesn't rip the bolt out. Let me plug this in, being careful. I've got the safety cover on it. Let me try gripping this by hand. Pressing harder and harder and harder. Yep. And I would say I'm pressing only about 5 pounds of force there, if that. And you can see that at this sort of distance here, it's just, I can quite easily stop that, no problems, no real problems there, just gripping it. Okay, so there's just not enough torque in this motor even though it's got gears on it. Let me have a listen to that again. Yep, so this motor here is too weak. I'll put some details about this motor down here, a video about it. You can see I've removed the big clip here. I had to actually, I do have a clip sort of removal tool. This gets different things on here depending on the size of the clip, but it wouldn't open wide enough, so what I had to do is put this in here and squeeze it, squeeze this outside part here with a mole wrench. And that got this clip off here. So move these out the way a bit. Now I do not recommend doing this. So far as I can tell, there's three bumps on here which I presume are gears coming up, like gear shafts coming up. And once you take this out, it might be very difficult to line it up and put them back in. I imagine this is a ball bearing. Here, I'll just show you the details now. See, it's clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, I'm going to get a screwdriver and get under here. See if we can get that out, a flat bladed screwdriver. There we are. So that's just under an edge here. Try twisting it. And let's try twisting this other side. So we're leaving it up evenly each side, I think. Yep, and that's come off there, it's starting to come off. Zoom in a little bit more. Right, so I think I can take this off now. There we are, there's that plate there. Bit of oil on it, or grease or something now. And that looks certainly like a ball bearing racing the top there. So let me, there's 3 holes in here, as well as if to suggest there could be some like extra gears in there. I don't get that, to be honest with you. Now that just unplugs. So it's going from a pinion gear to a bit bigger gear there, so you're not getting much. I'm not going to give you the ratio here. I'm not going to count the teeth or anything. But that's the shaft with the hole in I mentioned. It's like a D-shaped shaft. See the hole there, past the 3mm bolt for that, but it's got D shape at the end here. Now I'm going to try and get the screwdriver again. Can I leave up this plate? Wonder if you have to push it out from the bottom, because there is like a pin thing here on the bottom. The shaft obviously going, so there's a shaft there in the middle. There's more gears behind this plate, I think, pretty sure. Nope, I can't get that out like that. Let me try pushing this shaft a bit with the screwdriver, this Phillips screwdriver. No, unless you have to push it extremely hard. I think these screws for this terminal block don't go very deep, so I don't think they're holding anything in. Obviously you need a special stoley, but oh, it's got these metal sort of plates on the side there, don't it? Well, it's only got one of those. Oh no, that's got another one there, so it's got two. One there and one up there. This way you might see better. Very hard to keep this in the camera actually. That has gone up a bit there, so I don't know if I can. And there's slots in the side here. But it hasn't got the things going in there. I think for this plate that's got like ledges on it. Something that's to go in the slots. Procrastinating here, I think, to get before I try and get this out. Ah yes, so a bit of wiggling about there, trying to keep it reasonably level. Are we in the camera? Yeah. There we go. Show you that first. So that's got like I think that's a bushing on there, brass bushing, or maybe brass bushing. And then it's got these other gears. Let's come off. Yep, plenty of grease. So look, that's like connected together. And obviously this one is going to the motor, so only about half the space of this is taken up by the motor, up to about there, I would say, that line there. Probably by the time I take this plate off, if I can get this plate out. It's hard to tell, but I'm not sure if this is part of this plate, these two things on the side here. Quite a bit of grease, well, a reasonable amount of grease in here. There's a real small pinion. I assume it's going direct to the motor there. Now, getting this one out. I'll try the pliers on this pin that's sticking up here. Pin for the leaving that up. Yeah, it does certainly look like that's connected to those two things on the side, because those are moving when I'm leaving, trying to grab that pin and lever it like this. As I say, don't do this. I wouldn't, certainly not recommend doing this. Let's try and get that side up a bit. again, I'm going to try and get these pliers on. I thought I had my other pliers in here, but I haven't. It's quite hard to pull on that. Just looking around, I can't see anything holding it in. I think it's just a very tight grip with these metal plates here. There's 3 of them actually. I thought there was 2, but there's 3 of these metal plates. Can't really grip them. So I'm just going to what I'm trying to do there is get it under this edge here inside and lever that side up. That's away from the pin, so that it levers up. Oh, that bolt there, that bolts the terminal strip on, is just catching there. So I'm going to unscrew that. Grease all over. Short. Well, there's a couple of these in the terminal strip. Where am I? There, a couple of them. I think I only need to take that one out. See if that's any easier getting out now. Because that bolt might have been just enough. Yes, it is, because I've done that, and you might see that it's the metal sort of things are obviously connected to this plate are coming up. Now I can probably grab those. Keep this in the camera. It's going to go around each one. Be better off with a screwdriver actually. And that came up quite easily there. Now it seems to be sticking again. And I'm leaving this on the edge of here, the screwdriver, so I should be getting quite a bit of leverage there. It came up quite a bit there, quite easily, but now it's sticking again. Let me unscrew this other terminal screw just to make sure. There's a terminal screw. So 2 of them. There's nothing on the other side of this capacitor. It does say, what does it say? 0.33 UF, I think that's microfarads. Don't quote me on that, I'm an electronic expert. I presume it's at least 400 volts. I think it has certainly got a number on there, and that might indicate the voltage. It's got stuck again. This is slipping on this shaft here. Just making sure I'm getting in the camera here. I'm trying to leave that up again, but no. I don't want this bending. I can help it. Let me knock it down a bit. So I can knock it down. I'm just going to wipe some of this grease I've got around the edge here with a screwdriver to try and get the slide up a bit easier. I don't think there's any bumps in there. stopping it coming up. Can't see anything initially, so I'll try this again. So it goes up there and sticking again. It's almost like it's catching on something. Let me try this more wrench. This is what I term as a more wrench. You can see that's a make, but you get plenty of other makes, like a hand vice, some people call them. I think you can adjust this knob here and it goes tighter, and then you can clip it on things. Really good. This has seen better days. This had it a long time. So I grabbed that and pulled, and there we go. And then we've obviously got the armature thing in there and a state around the outside, so I'm going to take that out. I presume that pin there is the same pin that's going through the bottom here, same shaft. Can we see this? Let me zoom back in a bit. Very slippy with the grease on. There we go. And I can feel a magnetic there. So there's the magnet. Let me use this screwdriver. Let's have a look. Yep. That is magnetic. It might have south and north all the way around. This reminds me of a stepper motor. Definitely. That's the same pattern as a stepper motor. So you're telling me this is basically stepper motor. I'll try and find the other video I've got of like a stepper motor that has the same thing as this in. So one's going down like that. There's another one. Well, there's actually two in a way. Two rows of these white, presumably coils here. One for presumably going clockwise, one for going anti-clockwise. Now I assume there's a way, if you know what you're doing, to wire those in together to boost the power out. I don't know if that pin comes out. I can hear the coils moving. I don't know if I want to take those coils out, but there's like one whitish row there and another one below it, but the pins, the metal plates are almost bending over that way and over this way on the top one, and the same on the bottom one. So at one moment one will be magnetized, presumably one lot maybe, and then the other one will be magnetized. This is synchronous, so it goes the speed of the frequency. Says 50 to 60 there, so obviously that's going to vary depending on the speed of your frequency, but frequency generally is pretty stable. I think there's rules, and well, certainly in the UK there's rules and regulations about what frequency range you can keep it under, and it's small percentages. I don't know about getting those coils out with this wire going in here. Have to be more careful here. I don't know if there's anything I can really grip on. And it's getting down a bit deep for a screwdriver, I think. getting that grease on the outside did help there. I'm just trying to get that screwdriver underneath in the gap there. Is that moved at all? Yeah, slightly. I think I'll leave that, sorry. But that's certainly a pattern of a sort of stepper motor, but that probably also to do with the frequency of 50 or 60 hertz. See how strong that is. It's a pretty strong magnet with this pinion on here. As I say, I suppose this is magnetized south and north in stripes, so to speak. Well, that's as far as I'm going to go. Yeah, there's so there's like a, oh, that's like a separate washer there. Don't be careful of that. It's like a three-armed washer type thing. I can get on my hand. That goes on and bends up like that. Probably going out there. Pop this back on. I'll wipe this down. Wipe any excess grease off. I'm just using an old towel here to wipe any grease off. Any excess grease off, that is. And the magnet is trying to pull it over to the side of the case. Ooh. Yeah, see, the magnet's trying to pull it to the side of this case here. So I'm going to have to keep hold of it quite firm. And then that slides back in there, okay. So looking back over my video, found that this cog here once line up with this gap that's away from where the wires are going in here. The terminal strip goes on this side, and those like pegs going up, I'm going to call them pegs, on that plate want to be just to the right of the slot there. Let's try this small screwdriver. I hope this doesn't bend the screwdriver. Yeah, I can turn that, and it feels like the cogs are certainly gripping there, as they should do. I can feel like the roughness of the cogs. Yeah, so I think that's okay. So these three things are, well, presumably for, if I say, I think you get different rotational speeds. This is 60 RPM. Or other speeds of cogs. The cog, you might have different, well, you'll have different cogs in and different things in. And want to be putting a circlip back on. Wipe the grease off there. So I've just been going round like this, banging this down, and now you can see that that plate is just below, well, it's got a gap there. I think the circlip will go in. Make sure that's all the way around. Yeah, that's alright, that's alright. It's alright, that's alright, I think. Be careful with the circlip because it's a spring. And any springs can store a lot of energy. Just moving it a bit closer to myself. See what I mean? Well, actually that circlip there isn't too far wrong. Just going to try and move it about a bit, like turn it clockwise slightly. to do. Might have to squeeze it closed again. Hang on, I'm going to get my screwdriver under this edge here and whack it on that bump that's sticking out. See, that's not central up there. I'm going to just whack it a few times just to try and get that more central. Hoping the thing doesn't. Checking as I go. Checking. Is that in the camera? Yep, that's moved. Move it back a bit, I think. But basically that's about it. As these two clips want clipping a bit better under here. Have a look. Not to press down when I do that. One reason I would say do not open up these. I open them up so you don't have to, as I say. I don't expect to be using this motor for anything else. Well, anything really. It's the torque in it, even with those gears, just doesn't cut it. I'm just trying to leave up the edges of that circlip by twisting the screwdriver a bit. I think that one's knocking down a bit actually. Obviously this is done by, I think that's gone in that slot there. That's gone in that slot there. And that's gone in that slot there. It's just this corner one here now. So I have to like knock this plate down a bit. Let's use these pliers to scratch it less. And that peg's just about on there. Yep, I've squeezed it on there. Let's try and squeeze this one on a bit more. Yep, that's better. So that's that circlip back on. And if you look here, you'll see that the pegs on the circlip going in the holes. 4 of them. Okay, I'm going to see if we can turn this by hand. Can we see this? Yep. Yep, and I can feel the gears. I can feel the roughness of the gears there. And no like jamming. So that's basically it. Obviously you want to screw the capacitor and the terminal strip back on. And that's about it. I don't think there's much else I can really say, except I'll repeat that the torque for me, I think it's about 1 Newton meter, if you're lucky. So let's have a final look round. Put the terminal strip back on. I reckon that'll work. I don't want to try it. Should I try it for you? Make sure it's working. Yeah, let's get tried. I'll get the wire. Right, where are we? So I'm going to try and stop that turning with this. I'm going to hold this towel because I think that bolt's going to stick in me. I'm dreading doing this. Yep, I can stop it. I've stopped that turning. It's like pulsating there. But certainly stop. I can even turn it backwards by hand. Not too much force there. You see, if I let go, it's going to jam up the towel in this case. But see, you can quite easily, not too easily, but have to use a bit of force, but not major amount of force to stop that turning. So there's not a lot of torque in that, like turning force. Listen to that. I think that's because of that bolt in there. Just loose. Right, finish off there. The wire's going to want it to come off. So I do not recommend these for anything apart from really light work, okay?